traders, welcome back to the last episode of this week's trading series. It's a Friday today, the 19th of January, and if we wait for a few seconds there, you're gonna see the numbers are gonna change. Let's take a deep breath. 17 minutes past 11, and I'm back with another banger. Now we are looking at a DXY here. I just want to drop a quick analysis to see if we can catch some trades for today, but also for those who are still new to trading, I want to drop a quick tutorial. This is going to be a full strategy, and just make sure you pay attention. Now when we open a chart like this, right, it can be pretty daunting to understand what's happening here, because all we can see is green candles and red candles, and we can't really predict what's going to happen to these markets here. But once I start marking the charts, it's going to become more clearer. Now every time we trade the market, we must focus on what's happening right now, because the rest of the information has already happened. That's not going to help us with anything. We're not going to use that information to make money, but what's going to make us money, it's if we understand what's happening right now, because this is the information that we're going to use to predict the market. Now if the market is going to push to the upside, this is the structure in which we're going to move. We're going to push to the upside, exhaust a little bit, or we might even make it back to this level here. But the important thing is that we must not break this level here. So as long as we stay within this range, that means we are still pushing to the upside. And if the market is going to push to the upside, it's going to push, exhaust, and push again, and exhaust, and push again, and so on and so forth. As long as we follow this rhythm of the market, then we are still pushing to the upside. And if we're going to push to the downside, we're going to follow a similar structure, only to the downside. The market is going to push, exhaust, and push again, exhaust, and push again, and so on and so forth. As long as the market keeps doing this, then we know that we are still pushing to the downside, and we must only be looking to sell the market. This is what the market does. It's just the nature of the market. Now nobody knows what the market is going to do next, but if we continue following this rhythm, we are going to make money in these markets here. So let's get back to the charts. We can see here that the market has pushed, exhaust, and pushed again. What do you think the next phase is? If you said exhaust, then you are correct. So we are likely to see some exhaustions before we can continue pushing to the upside. But this is a daily time frame. This means each and every candle here is going to take a day to complete, right? So there's going to be a lot of trading opportunities in just one single candle if we move lower to the other smaller time frames, right? So now let us do that. Let me just remove everything here, and then we're going to move to the smaller time frames. Now we know from the daily time frame that the next phase of the market is to push to the downside. So on the DXY, this means we are only looking to sell. Let's move on to the 4-hour time frame, which is the next lower time frame. So here we go. On the 4-hour time frame, we can see more information. If the market is going to push to the downside, right, there are certain patterns that we're going to follow. If the market is going to push, exhaust, and then push again, sorry about that, and push again, and then fail to break this high here, what is more likely to happen? The market is more likely to push to the downside. Right now we know that, and we got the information from the daily time frame that this thing is more likely to push to the downside. And when we get to the 4-hour time frame, what do we see? We see that double top that suggests that the market is failing to break to the upside, and we are more likely to push to the downside. So this is just another confirmation that indeed we are going to be pushing to the downside. Now that's just the pattern. Now to look for our entries, we can move back to the 1-hour time frame, because now we know that on this DXY here we are pushing to the downside. Now if we're going to sell this market here, where are we more likely to find some troubles before the market can then reverse on us? If we look around this level here, we can see that the market was stuck on consolidation around these zones here. The market was not doing anything but just bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down, and then for the first time we broke that level there. Now how the market moves is every time we break a level of consolidation, the general theory is to come back and retest that level before we can continue pushing to the upside. So this aligns perfectly with everything that we've been talking about all the way from the daily time frame, right, we can see that this thing is pushing to the downside for a short period of time, but then in the long term we are coming to this level here to retest before we can start pushing to the upside. So now our objective, our main aim is to get some sells here, but we need to be out of the market before the market can get to this level here, because we know that this is the level that's going to give us problems should the market get to this level here. We are more likely to bounce from this level and then push to the upside. So we don't want to be inside this trade here. Once we reach this level here, we should be out of the trade. So if we look at the distance from here to here, let's grab our short position tool here. Let's say we sell the market right now, our stop loss should go above structure, and then when we look at this, our risk management is off, right? We're not getting our 1 to 2 quite clearly, but that's because this is a 4-hour time frame. Now to take advantage of this trade here, let me remove this thing here. To take advantage of this trade here, we need to move down lower to lower time frame. So let's move on to the 1-hour time frame, because that's where we're gonna get some beautiful setups there. Now if you look here, the market is telling us that indeed it is failing to push to the upside. There's too much sellers in this zone here, and it just keeps hammering the market back to the downside. Now if we look at the time, it's 23 minutes past 11 now, and we're not gonna enter any trades until this candle close here, because we need some confirmation that indeed this thing is gonna push to the downside. So I'm just gonna wait for this candle here to close. If this candle closes a red candle, then I'm gonna go ahead, execute this trade here, put my stop loss above structure. I'm just going to put the stop loss above these weak rejections here, so that if this thing decides to come back and kick me out, I'm not going to lose a lot of money. But this is what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to target my 1 to 2, something like that. Now if you notice here, this means we're going to be out of this trade here before the market can get back to this level where we anticipate it to bounce to the upside. So this means we're gonna get a beautiful 1 to 2 here before the market can start reacting, and once it reacts, we're gonna take the market back to the upside. But for now, we just want to take these short-term sells here. I hope that makes sense, traders. We are looking to sell the DXY. Now this is where the juice comes to play, right? Every time we are looking to sell the DXY, we are looking to buy the Euro USD, the GBP USD, and the New Zealand dollar USD. Let's go to the Euro USD. Now Euro USD, we've already explained that if we are selling the DXY, then we are aiming to buy the Euro USD. Let's move back to the daily time frame so we can analyze this thing exactly like we did the DXY, right? So we already know that if the market is going to push to the upside, it's going to push, exhaust, push. Sorry about that, I don't know what's happening with my mouse, man. I need a new mouse. So we're gonna push again, violating the previous highs, exhaust, and then push again to the upside, right? That's just the structure that we're gonna take if the market is gonna continue pushing to the upside. So we understand that we can say that indeed the Euro USD is confirming what the DXY is telling us, because the DXY is going to the downside, which means the Euro USD is about to push to the upside. Let's move back to the 4-hour time frame to study the behavior. When we get to the 4-hour time frame, now we already discussed that if the market pushes to the downside, let me grab that, if the market pushes to the downside, comes back to exhaust, and then fail to break this level here, this means we are more likely to push to the upside, because this is a double bottom. Now I'm gonna ask you something. I'm gonna drag this thing back to the downside, and you tell me if that's not the same thing that we are looking at, right? We are looking at the double bottom here, which means it's another confirmation that the market is indeed about to push to the upside. So just like the DXY here, we're gonna move to the 1-hour time frame to see if we can get some entries. And as you can see, beautiful setup here. We're just waiting for this green candle to close. If it closes as a green candle like that, then you already know the deal, man. We're gonna take this thing back to the upside, stop loss just below these weak rejections here, and then we're gonna go for our 1 to 2, and we need to make sure that we need to be out of the trade before the market can get back to these levels here, because this is where we are more likely to find some troubles. If the market is gonna reject, this is an area that's gonna give us problems. So if the market is gonna find some hesitation here, this is where we're gonna bounce from. So we don't want to be in this trade if the market gets to this level here. So the point is to get into this trade and get out before we can get to that key level there. So that's a beautiful setup there on the Euro USD as well. There's really not much to say, man. Beautiful buys here. Let us just move to the GBP USD. All right, GBP USD, we've already explained that if the market is going to push to the upside, we're going to push, exhaust, push, exhaust, and so on and so forth. And that's just what we are doing right now. The market looks like it is indeed pushing to the upside. Let's move back to the daily time frame so we can analyze like we did the DXY and the Euro USD. Now, beautiful setups here. If we can see that the market is failing to break around this level here, let me just grab that. The market is failing. Oops, what's happening, man? The market is failing to break this level here, so this means we are indeed pushing to the upside. Now what's worrying me with the DXY is this level here that the market keeps failing to break, because look at this. Let me just minimize that. Look at this. So we pushed, come on, man, we pushed, exhaust, pushed, we failed to break that. This was the first attempt. We failed, came back to exhaust, we tried again and we failed to break that. Came back, gave us a double bottom here, that's fine. We pushed and we failed again, and we came back to this level here. So my point is we are failing to break this level a lot. So I'm not going to be taking this one here because this level is just too close to home. If I take my trade here, I need to make sure that I'm out of the trade before we get to this level here. If we move back to, let's move to the 4-hour time frame, and then you can see this level is just too close to home, man. Let's move to the 1-hour time frame to see if we can find an entry here. There we go. So if we buy the market at the close of this candle here, depending on where it's going to close, stop loss below structure, and can we get a 122? We can't get a 122. This is just too close to home. So that's my worry with the GBP USD here. But I also anticipate the GBP to indeed push to the upside, but I'm not going to take this one because the risk management is just too off. If I'm not getting my 122, then I'm not taking that trade. But just the same strategy that we're using here is just a simple break and retest, break and retest, break and retest until we get to our take profit. But let's move on to the New Zealand dollar USD to see if we can find some trades here. Let's move to the daily time frame. Beautiful double bottom here. We can see that the market is indeed pushing to the upside, and if the market is going to push to the upside, we're going to push, exhaust. Come on, man. Do you see that I really need a mouse? Smash the like button so I can buy a mouse, guys. So we're gonna exhaust and push again. Oh man, push again, exhaust, push, exhaust. And what's the next phase? If you said push, then you're correct. We're about to push to the upside, so that's just the same thing. And if we're buying this market here, we need to make sure that we're out before we reach this next level of resistance there. And that's just a quiet that's a nice distance to the upside, right? We can get in and get out of this trade before we get to the next zone. Let's move to the 4-hour time frame to see if we can see some confirmation to say that we are indeed pushing to the upside. Beautiful setup, man. This is a very critical zone. The market reacts every time it gets here, and as you can see, we are reacting again with this beautiful 4-hour time frame candle. So let's move on to the 1-hour time frame to see if there are any setups that we can get. Indeed, as soon as we close with a green candle there, then I'm going to jump on this trade and buy the market back to the upside, stop loss up below structure, and then I'm gonna go for my 1 to 2 and make sure that I'm in and out of this trade before we can get to the next zone, which is way far up there. So it's gonna be a beautiful setup here. on the New Zealand dollar USD as well. So that's just how I analyze the market, guys. I really keep it simple. I don't overcomplicate anything. And just to remind everyone, this is not financial advice. This is just my own opinion, guys. And if you decide to take these trades, make sure you do so at your own risk. But if you like how I analyze the market, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you don't know who I am, I know this is pretty late on the video, but if you don't know who I am, my name is Afonso. I document my life and my trading journey on YouTube just to make sure that in few years from now, when I'm pushing my Lamborghinis and Bugattis and Ferraris, I'm able to inspire someone who's trying this forex game for the first time to say, wow, I saw Afonso doing this from the beginning of his journey. So I document my life here on YouTube. Just watch the rest of my videos, guys. I'm pretty sure you're gonna find some inspiration. And if you're looking for any help personally, I mean, you can make money using my free stuff here on YouTube, but if you really need some personal help, if you want to trade with me on a daily basis where we take some live trades, I do have a community, a trading community. It's not free. It's $149. It's a once-off fee, and I make sure that I take you from the beginner phase all the way to where I am right now, because now I'm making money online. I'm just sitting at home. I'm a full-time day trader, and it's pretty cold down here where I am right now, and people were waking up, going to work, complaining about the weather and stuff like that. And I thank God that I don't have to deal with such things anymore. So if you want to join me, make sure I'm gonna just email me at Afonso Analysis. I'm gonna leave my email address underneath this video. But if you are broke to the core and you don't have the $149, excuse me, if you don't have $149 to join my mentorship program, I'm gonna leave a link in the description to get a free $30 account from the broker that I use. Then you can just watch my free stuff and back test it before you play around with that $30, and anything that you can make from that $30, if you make any profits, you can withdraw that those profits that you made from the $30. So that's just my gift to you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you smash the like button, and I will see you on the next video.